Hi everyone. Thanks to TCC for coming and interviewing us. So this is an exclusive interview for TCC here in Bangkok. The goal of this interview is basically to talk more about Everex. You know, what is our goal, what we're doing, what is our mission, what we're solving, and also finalize, you know, the talk with a message to all our investors and supporters. So basically, I will start with introducing myself. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Everex, and my name is Visakha. I have a very solid investment banking background. So I have worked for many years, in the trading floor of Credit Suisse and Barclays. So basically, getting to know the whole spectrum of the financial services and banking industry. Then I kind of turned into more entrepreneurship, building businesses, focusing a lot into like B2B marketing and trying to build up various startups like from scratch basically until execution and then going live into the market. And currently I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here with Everex, so mostly focusing on B2B marketing. What we do basically with our product, so Everex is a financial services platform, which means that currently we're focusing on the payment spectrum, so payment, money transfers, FX services, currency exchange, and as a final point, the lending services, which will be live after all our first steps are kind of launched. So what we offer is mostly solving real-world problems in the sense that currently, if a migrant worker wants to send money back home, his only solution is whether to go, through Western Union, give cash to Western Union office, and then his family or the counterparty would collect the money on the other side. The big problem with those individuals is that they face massive transaction fees, because if you want to send $100, let's say, you're being charged with like $10 of commission. And for those kind of individuals who doesn't have like large income, it's a big hit on the money transfer. So this is one of the focus, like solving kind of unbanked money transfers. On the other side, we also have businesses like SMEs or even larger businesses who send amount of money abroad, and they're also being hit with like large transaction fees. So our solution is mostly to cut down all transaction fees so that the money transfer worldwide happens at a very low cost, because we believe that through the banking infrastructure you don't need to have a lot of intermediaries and custodians, and we provide the solution so that we're able to cut down all the transaction fees. And also, by the use of the blockchain technology, we allow for instant settlement. So basically what happens currently in the financial ecosystem is that all the money transfer have to settle through different entities, and we allow, with the use of the blockchain technology, to ideally transfer money instantly. So these are the two core values that we're bringing into the innovation, and by applying those, the blockchain technology into the real world use case, we kind of innovate the whole landscape, and we help the unbanked people to send money to families. We help SMEs to deal with payments. We help big companies also to deal basically with the real problems they have with the money transfer. And then, as I said, at the later stage, once the whole basically token infrastructure is put into place, we kind of create the liquidity so that we're able to have a portfolio of liquidity. We would then be able to develop the lending infrastructure. So the goal is mostly to help individuals to get loans, because the current environment is that if you're asking for a loan, first you maybe don't have a bank account because you cannot have access to that due to your identity. And second, it's very hard to get a loan from even microfinance institutions because you don't have a scoring or credit identity. So what we do is that we will be able to build the whole infrastructure with artificial intelligence that will be able to kind of create the whole scoring system and to be able to better know your background, your identity, your risk level, etc., so that we can provide microloans basically. So this is the whole background of what we're doing. In other words, the services that are our products are functional. So we have 4 suite of products, which is the very backbone product of Everex is Explorer. Explorer is kind of Etherscan product, is very similar, and this is more for techies, I would say. In order to scan transactions, we have a lot of developers who would use the platform, so it's like an API and it allows you basically to really track transactions. Then we have our wallet, so the wallet has been tested and kind of implemented as well. We launched it in 2016, so we executed the wallet between Thailand and Myanmar to allow basically migrant workers to send money back home. This was successfully executed. We collected feedback, made it more robust, and now we're basically working on the partnership so that we can implement that for real. So beta tested, it's proved, implemented, and now it's more about going in the next stage, which is implementing that for businesses. So for example, our main target clients could be businesses who do peer-to-peer money transfer, because currently the infrastructure they're using is banking infrastructure, right? And this doesn't open doors to everyone. So in order to get unbanked population as well on board and other solution, we provide for instant payment and free of transaction costs. Additional features of our technology is that we are built on the Ethereum technology, on the Ethereum blockchain technology, which is different to private solutions. So quickly to explain the background, the technology, for example, most of the people compare us to Ripple. So everyone knows Ripple, it's a private solution. They're building their own private blockchain and they offer those solutions to banks. And what it does exactly the same thing. So instant settlement and allows you to eliminate all the transaction fees. However, they're mostly targeting banks. So it's Santander, UBS, all the big banks, to kind of build the infrastructure inside those banks. And the difference is that we're a public blockchain and they're a private blockchain. And in terms of public blockchain, we enable for access and control transfer, which means that if we need to implement our technology into a banking infrastructure, then the banking would have the whole access and visibility throughout all the transactions. Whereas Ripple would have to control, they have an overview and control and access of the whole transactions. So this means that if Ripple would build the solution for, let's say, Credit Suisse, and suddenly Ripple gets bought back by another big entity, Credit Suisse will kind of still be owned by another bank, because the other bank would be able to see all the transactions. So we fully give full transparency of all the transactions and autonomy and governance to our clients. So this is basically the whole difference, and we don't target only banks. So our goal is not to implement into banking infrastructure, but mostly to help the unbanked population, individuals, SMEs, and also those business and peer-to-peer payment platforms, I would say. So basically, just to come back to the suite of products, so I mentioned Explorer, which is more the backbone of Everex, and is more developed by our team of developers. Then we have our wallet, which allows for instant money transfers and payment. Basically, this is more a mobile-based technology, and this is the solution we offer actually to our partners. So building up the whole partnership ecosystem as well. And then we have 2 other products which are more tech-based. So blockchain is more like that. It's kind of kind of a link that allows you to do the, let's say, Ether transactions. So we have a suite of functional products, and now our biggest challenge is mostly regulation based and partnership discussion. So on the regulation side, we're not a payment provider, so we don't need a payment license. However, we need to get our tokenization process into a legal framework, so that is what we're currently working on. We're working with two reputed entities, one in Switzerland, one in Singapore. So currently working on a legal framework so that we get our tokenization business kind of legalized, regulated, and good to go once we move ahead with the business partner. Then the second challenge is also more getting into discussion with financial entities, because blockchain is still very new. So everyone is looking into blockchain because there's so much potential for the whole financial industry. However, people prefer to wait and see. So for example, we've been into a lot of discussion, and people, like individuals and businesses, they don't want to take the risk of either partnering with you because it might be too risky to build up something. So it's a lot of working on education, because people are not really aware of what's the blockchain technology, what are the real use cases, and the value added of the technology. So we're currently working a lot on the education. You need to pitch a lot and really go into deeper discussion with our partner as well. So it's building up, but we're dealing with big entities that are very well established, and to kind of innovate and disrupt the industry, it really takes time. So this is our biggest challenge, is to deal to have patience and to deal with solid infrastructures and entities in order to change step by step the industry. So that's the whole spectrum of Everex, what we're doing, our services and our challenges. Now we know that we successfully launched the ICO, and we're really thankful to our supporters, because without supporters and investors it would be tough to get to where we are today. There's a lot of work to be done as well on the business. We know that there's a lack of marketing, but as we said, our main focus is really to concentrate on the B2B, because our goal is mostly to build the solution for businesses, and in order to do so, it's a different different funnel to B2C. So when you're in the B2C spectrum, it's more easier to see marketing activities, to see marketing efforts. However, on the B2B, it's more about contacting the right partners, contacting the right businesses to scale and build up basically the technology, the solution. And we're really thankful to the community, and we the biggest message is mostly to tell them that we're working on the product, we're working on building up the business. I mean, we've done a lot so far, and there's so much to be done, but it's true that the marketing efforts are not really visible, because it's not retail businesses, but mostly B2B. So it's we're participating as well to the Singapore blockchain conference, Money 2020, and this will open new doors as well for Everex, because it will create additional visibility to the traditional financial solutions, and this will allow us as well to enlarge our network, our relationship as well of discussion, and open us new doors with, we hope, larger entities. So that's basically the next step and the goals. So yeah, I mean, I would like to thank everyone for the support, the trust, and the confidence everyone is putting into Everex. And it's a matter of a time, because we're knocking on many doors. So Everex technology can be implemented into different industries. So from like taxi, like Uber, Grab, to like payment infrastructure. So you have a lot of peer-to-peer payment transfers to banking industries, to even NGO. So it's like a large spectrum, and it's a matter of like patience and getting like the trust from the bigger industry, basically.
Yeah.
So the wallet is functional. It was executed in 2016 between Thailand and Myanmar. So we have tested that. We did a pilot test. We've worked on like feedbacks and to make it more robust. So now the wallet is functional, is ready to be used, and it's more a matter of like building the right partnership so that we can implement the product into a real use case, basically. So that's why, and we also had, because we're working on a legal framework, we wanted to pose basically the wallet. So it makes more sense, to wait for a legal framework, regulated, and then, push it to the next step, basically. Yeah. So we're taking part into two conferences. So as I said before, the Money 2020 in Singapore. So this is like a more international conference in Singapore that really is inviting all the businesses, industries in the payment infrastructure. So Apple will be there, Ripple will be there as well. We're attending. There are many big names. So this will allow us to enlarge our like vision and to enlarge as well our visibility there, and get to contact to the right partner, basically, who's looking for FX and payment solution. Then tomorrow there's another conference we're attending. Alexi Lane, the CEO, is speaking there. It's the blockchain and Bitcoin conference here in Bangkok. So the conference is mostly around Thai regulation, Thai ICO ecosystem, and blockchain infrastructure. So basically Alexi will be talking about that, mostly giving heads up about like there are a few bans from Thai banks, and we will not like be impacted because we're post ICO and we're not in the crypto space as such. So we're building up payment solution, money transfer solution, and our backbone is mostly like linked to tokenization of the fiat currency. So basically the whole tokenization is being worked around legal framework, but as such we have no impact following like Thai regulators. So that's not like a very big problem for us, but we're speaking there, to enlarge like, the whole vision about Thai, ecosystem and blockchain. So we're very positive about that. Yeah, basically those are the two big conferences we're attending this month, and we're also attending Money 2020 in Amsterdam, but mostly focusing on the European stage, so to enlarge as well our visibility there. So yeah. Exactly.